Hi, everyone. Welcome to Second Breakfast. My name is Philip Duvall. I'm here with my intrepid co-host, Andy Roth. Say hi, Andy.
What's up?
What's up?
What up?
I gotta tell you, man, Project Melway, brought to you by
The Gibsonian Institute.
the Gibsonian Institute is an institute that we know nothing really about. It's a mysterious clandestine organization that, for one reason or another, has devoted itself and its existence to the Mel Gibson oeuvre.
Could we call them a cabal? Like a shadowy organization of some
I
kind?
think I think considering everything we know and don't know about Mel Gibson, I think that would be a legitimate decision.
Fair enough. Okay. Thank you.
A
All right.
shadowy, clandestine cabal of Mel Gibson enthusiasts has charged Andy and me, sorry, grammar snobs, Andy and me with watching every single Mel Gibson film, every single acted Mel Gibson film that he's been in, that he's acted in. We're skipping Apocalypto and Passion of the Christ because he didn't act in them.
Right.
Um,
In
but
chronological order.
in chronological order.
Yes.
Which means really it's not, you can't, there's no way to stack this, folks. You can't set it up so that every other week is a good or a bad. You can't set it up, the way you want. It's the way God intended, actually. Because this is, and I mean that because this is the path that Mel Gibson's life has taken. And we're taking it like in chronological order is like learning how this career was shaped. And I think the next time I watch every single movie Mel Gibson's made, I might watch it in a different order. But for the first go around, I think watching it chronologically is the best way to go.
I am chuckling because my soul is sobbing at the prospect of you going all the way through Attack Force Z again, Phil.
I don't even, the best part is I don't even remember it. Like I really don't. Like I blacked out for huge chunks of that.
Fair. Fair.
I will say this, and I don't know if we should bring this up on the show. My wife has already suggested, I think, a stellar candidate for our next filmography series. After the Gibsonian Institute is through with us, we may have a different person. It's a female.
Do you want to let it out on the air? Do you want to?
No, I'll give you some hints, and let's see if people can. The thousands and throngs of people who gasp at our every last word about Mel Gibson might and hang for dear life on what we will say next about the great Mel. Can guess based on a couple of clues. It's a female. It's an actress, not a director, not a director or a cinematographer.
Okay.
Although we've discussed it, Andy and I have discussed doing the whole filmography of a director or something like that, and I think Billy Wilder or someone would be a blast. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's a female. It's an actor. She has waxed and waned popularity wise. Has made indie flicks. Has made mainstream flicks, and she started in the 80s. So this would be not a huge, unwieldy filmography. Might even be a little bit shorter than Mr. Gibson's. But her stature...
Please, dear God, yes, is all I have to say about that.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
If anybody has any guesses, we'll be glad to take guesses. I will tell you this. I'll give you one hint. She has... Actually, yeah, I can say this. I'm going to say this. She has never been in a movie with Mel Gibson. So there's a good little hint. So we won't be rewatching any films.
Fantastic. Okay.
Is that fair to say?
Not only that is that fair, I think that's
now that
awesome.
I've made that comment, I'm actually looking through her filmography to make sure that that's true. I think it's true. Let's see here. She's been in movies with people who are in movies with Mel Gibson.
Well, that's not
only 1 degree of separation.
In the least.
There's only 2 degrees of separation here.
Okay. Hey, Phil.
But other than that, I'm so excited about this.
Hey, Phil, what are we talking about today?
Today, this is what happens when you let me introduce a film. Today we are talking about what I would call a trifle. Not a bad film, actually, in
No,
my opinion. It is, but by no means a hefty film
no.
in the oeuvre. This is a movie by the name of Bird on a Wire,
Bird on the
which is
Wire.
starring Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn in
Hmm.
19 that came out in 1990. Just to give you an idea of this film, I mean, now by the way, this is the first of three films that came out with Mel Gibson in them in 1990. This was the point at which he had just made Lethal Weapon, Tequila Sunrise, Lethal Weapon 2. He was really at the height of his Melness. And put out three movies. This is the first of the three movies in 1990. It is another in the line of Lethal Weapon 1 and 2, well, especially 2. So it would be a second movie in a row that is, in my opinion, an action comedy.
Agreed.
It is the
Yes.
story of a man who is in the witness protection program, and the people who are searching after him find him the same day that his old flame finds him. She finds him quite by accident. She finds him, and the last time she saw him, he disappeared. And the reason he
She
disappeared
thinks
is
he's
when
dead.
she thinks
Yeah.
he's dead, and
Yeah.
she sees him again, and then the two of them end up embarking on this, road trip, running away from the people who are trying to kill them
Yes.
and falling back in love. Spoiler non-existent. They
Because
were.
when you look like Mel Gibson and you look like Goldie Hawn,
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
I have no
Sure,
doubt
I
that we
have
will.
things to say about that I think are interesting. But
Phil,
beyond that, like,
I believe you.
yes, right? Then I might have something to say about the way Goldie Hawn looks. It's true. And also Mel Gibson. Definitely the height of the Mel Gibson piece of meat, in my
Mm.
opinion. We'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about that, and we'll talk about that. We'll objectify him when we objectify her. I think it's only fair. But I
Can't
think
wait.
that the thing that I wanted to say besides that is that the main thing you need to know about them is that they were hippies in college and anti-establishment baby boomer types, and then he disappeared, and she became a lawyer, a high-paid lawyer who still maintains some level of, I don't know what you'd call it, like anti-establishment flair,
Right.
I guess.
Right. She pays it
Me,
lip service. She pays it lip service. That's
at the
that's
very
pretty
beginning, you're
much it.
introduced to her as someone that's for the people. I will talk. I have so many thoughts on that. That's the idea of the film. I've said enough for now. Andy, how would you like to start talking about this lovely little picture?
Uh,
Didn't hate it. Did you hate it?
I did not hate it. I did not. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself. It is
No, no,
like.
I shouldn't go that far. It's a nice movie.
Wait, you wouldn't go so far as to say as you liked it?
I wouldn't go so. I said it was a lovely movie, and then I realized that's a little bit.
I got you. I got you. Yes. Right.
Lovely is a word I reserve for things that are genuinely lovely, I hope.
It is not. It is not on a different path than if you were to continue to go down that path for a very long way would be lovely. Right?
Sure.
Yeah. You know. I'm certainly not sorry. I saw it again. I did see it. I think I saw it. I think I saw it when it was in theaters.
Yes, I did. I saw it with my mom. Hi, Mom. I saw it with my mom in the
Nice.
theaters. 1990, so.
I think I want to start because you've pretty much done it already. And not that there's a lot to talk about anyway. So we could just dispose of it real quick.
I have so much to talk about with this movie. Go
The
ahead.
plot is when people talk about like a tissue paper thin plot. Like here is the pitch meeting for this movie. Mel Gibson, Goldie Hawn. I love it. Green light.
No, on the run.
Right.
Mel Gibson,
Right.
Goldie Hawn, on the run, action comedy. It's Midnight Run plus Lethal Weapon with some sex. PG-13. Let's make it.
The although speaking of the rating, fairly surprised that 95% of Goldie Hawn's bum not only makes it into the movie, but makes it into the trailer.
I believe you. I don't remember
The
that.
the shot where they are climbing up a ladder, he is behind her, and the wind blows her skirt up, is in the trailer.
Can I say something though? And there's another shot of her in towards the end where she's like wriggling around and
Do you get the sense that she was like, I'm not going to have these legs forever. I want to show them off in a movie as much as I possibly can.
I want to go further than that, Andy, because
Okay.
this was the movie right after Overboard, by the way, which also showed her legs
lot.
tremendously at the beginning. In fact, her legs were like the star of the show for the first 10 minutes of Overboard. Do you know how old Goldie Hawn was in the filming of this movie?
I will go. Let's see. Let's see. Mel Gibson was early 30s.
Mel Gibson was 36 by this time. We are now
Oh,
squarely in
oh,
Mel.
36. I will go. I will
It came out in
go.
1990, and he
Oh,
was
okay.
56. Okay, so I'm sorry. So he came out in 56, so he was
34.
34.
Okay.
Is that
I
right?
will go. Yes.
34.
Yeah. I will go for her. I'll go 38.
First of all, phenomenal guess, and even if you are right, the funny thing about that is they picked an older woman for a younger man, which is unheard of today.
It's true. That's true.
By the way,
It's
unheard
true.
of that they would actually have an older woman and a younger man. She was 45 when this movie came out.
Wow.
Right?
She does not look it.
No,
She
no,
does not look it.
no, my friend. No.
Wow.
No. She doesn't. 45 years old, and he was 34.
Yeah.
So first of all, and they look the same,
Yeah, they do.
or within reason. I mean, there's no reason to question that they were the same
Right.
age.
Right. 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 Yes.
But and that doesn't speak ill of him. It speaks highly of the I'm trying to think of the way to say this. The
She's very well preserved.
Yes, which is really funny considering the same year she made Death Becomes Her,
Oh,
which is
that's
all
funny.
about
Oh, that's
physical
awesome.
immortality. And I
Awesome.
think just I'm sorry, not the same year, 2 years later, a stellar movie.
I very much enjoy that movie.
She hasn't made a movie since 2002.
Is she retired or has she just not
I
made movies?
mean, she hasn't made a movie in 11 years, but I don't know. She and Kurt Russell moved up to Canada and
Okay.
sent so that their kid could play hockey. I'm not kidding.
That's amazing.
Also, you and I were talking. I have to do a side thing here. Okay.
Okay.
You and I were talking about Bull Durham the other day, and the fact that Ron Shelton, who wrote and directed Bull Durham, originally had written it for his buddy Kurt Russell, who had been a professional baseball player and had an injury ended his career when he was playing for the minor leagues in the Angels minor league affiliate and batting like 7 billion and like the Babe Ruth of
It's
the minor
true.
leagues.
563 or something. Something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. So anyways, Ron Shelton, and I was looking up Kurt Russell last night because I had just watched Escape from New York last night for the first time. We can talk about that some other time. Although it's funny that one of our last Gibson movies was a Kurt Russell Gibson movie.
Tequila
Now
Sunrise.
I
No,
just
totally.
watched, then I just
Yeah.
watched Kurt Russell and then Mel Gibson with Kurt Russell's wife, so to speak, common law
Yeah.
wife, Goldie
Yeah.
Hawn. So anyways, all that is to say that Kurt Russell's next film or one of his next movies, he's got 3 movies coming out after having not been in anything for a while.
Awesome.
His next movie is a baseball movie, written and directed by Ron Shelton.
Awesome. Good.
I know, but wait, there's more.
Is it Bull Durham 2?
Electric Boogaloo. No, I want to read this to you.
Okay.
I want to read this to you because when I read the next 3 movies. First of all, okay, so he's got 3 movies coming out that are being made in the next 2 years.
Okay.
The Fix. This is Kurt Russell. I know we're going to talk about Bird on a Wire, people. We really are, but you need to hear this. I promise you, this is relevant. Just stick with me. The Fix, where he plays a character named Crunch Calhoun.
No.
I'm already in. Like, I'm already in. A retired motorcycle daredevil who steals art on the side tries to assemble his old crew for one last heist. I am so in. Matt Dillon, Jay Baruchel, Terrence Stamp. I had you at Terrence Stamp, by the
You
way.
did. You did.
The movie was directed by someone you don't care about. The next movie he's in is a movie
You
by.
had me at all of those people. You had me at all. I love all of those people.
No,
Go
and that's
ahead.
why I said the name because I wanted you to know.
Sure.
Why can't I find the interest on the list about this movie? Okay. Seriously, I found it yesterday. Why don't I have it today? Kurt Russell is in a movie called Sweet Spot, and he plays a character named El Mago, and it's about
Okay.
the Mexican baseball league. an American in the Mexican Baseball League, and it's written by Ron Shelton.
Awesome.
I dare you to think that doesn't sound awesome.
I wouldn't dare.
Then his movie after that, Kurt Russell. The man is back with a vengeance. It's called Bone Tomahawk.
What?
Four men set out in the Wild West to rescue a group of captives from cannibalistic cave dwellers. Here's the four men. Timothy Oliphant. Yes. Kurt Russell. Peter Sarsgaard.
Yes.
Richard Jenkins.
Oh my god.
It's like I don't
Can
even
we watch that movie now?
By the way, I haven't listed it, but all three of these movies have ridiculously, fantastically gorgeous female ingenues whose names are interchangeable because that's the terrible way that Hollywood works.
Fair point. Yes.
Kurt Russell aging like fine wine. I don't know what's going on with Goldie Hawn. I'd love to see a Mel Gibson, Kurt Russell remake, something with them together. But you talked about Goldie Hawn being 36. She's actually 45 and looking 38. But you mentioned also that this movie shows not just her legs, but most of her lower half, as you said, 95%.
Yes.
And yet the movie is PG-13, to which I will respond, that 5% makes all the difference.
It's true. It is a crucial 5%. It is a crucial 5%.
Generally say that I've seen her naked because of that, but you do see a butt in this movie.
Say again?
You do see a butt in this movie.
That's true.
It's Mel Gibson's butt, ladies.
Yes, that's true.
This is why I said it's really playing up this is the point where he's the piece of meat.
Yes.
Because he shows his body a lot, and he's in great shape. I mean, phenomenal, ridiculously good shape. And they show his butt. And it's like the same year he was People's Sexiest Man of the Year, he shows his butt. Smart move, Mel.
Oh, yeah. Well done, MG. Totally.
Now on. That is great.
A lot of that guys in this movie. Stephen Tobolowsky, Bill Duke, David Carradine. I mean that might be it, but that's most of the people.
That's a lot, and Joan Severance is in it, and
she's basically a model. I mean, she wasn't.
But she's like a face that you come to know later on. It's like
agreed.
She plays a veterinarian. Anytime, by the way, they want to make a woman smart, they make her a doctor. But anytime they don't think that you'll believe she's that smart, they go ahead and make her a veterinarian. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what they do.
That's a fair point.
She's a doctor. Really? A veterinarian. Okay.
The last things I want to talk about with the plot, it is in the 80s, so it is not just
so it has
plot,
terrible
sort of
sound effects.
Say again?
So it has terrible sound effects.
Terrible. It's very quippy. It's very quippy. Even where it shouldn't be. There's just unfortunate homophobic humor.
Interesting you say that.
I thought so.
Well, I was watching it thinking, I think this is homophobic now. I don't think it would have been thought of as homophobic then. I
agree with you.
To have made him associate with gay people as flamingly gay as they were, and to be fair, they were hairdressers. I get it, but I'm saying there's a room for flamboyance there.
I agree with you.
And Mel Gibson does a great gay.
Hi, Scotty. Yeah, it is. It is. No, he's...
But it's a total stereotype. I mean...
Yes, I agree with you.
It's not blackface. Are you ready? It's gay face.
No.
Why not? It makes perfect sense.
No, I'm not giving that to you. No, moving on.
No, wait, blackface.
Moving on.
Gibson put on gay face.
I will agree with you that it's sort of like a Merchant of Venice situation. Like, is it homophobic? Sure, looked at now. But is it homophobic for the time? Not.
It's not like Birth of a Nation or anything.
No.
Like, it's not like the gays are like running rampant and just like stealing children. It's like he, in one of his past incarnations, because see, he's been in witness protection, and they stick him in all these different places, and it turns out, by the way, that he's good at everything he does. which is
Yeah.
I think which is I think like it pulls it off. It's kind of a cute thing where everything he does is amazing. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
actually bother me for some reason.
Oh, because it's Mel. Because it's charming Mel.
But Mel play and so he plays this gay hairdresser for a second, and they say
He's a wizard with
Michelangelo.
hair.
He's the Michelangelo of hair.
There you go. There you go.
Um, uh, um, and the best part is he meets up with his old, very flamboyant, with a fingernail that's got acrylic finger on it and everything. But I love that what's the guy's request? I'll give you what you want from me, but first
You have to do my hair.
you have to do my hair.
You have to do my
Which
hair.
means, of course, Mel Gibson was the greatest gay hairdresser of all time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I guess I don't know. So that's interesting to me. Yes, it in retrospect is terribly. I don't know. I was thinking about it in
insensitive.
terms of the way that we look at homosexuality today. I definitely was thinking of that and
Yes,
wondering.
and it's not just to put it in further sort of historical terms, it's not to the level of like not only is it not Birth of a Nation, you're absolutely right. It's not Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's with the horrible Asian stereotype. It's
Well,
not that
it's
at
also
all.
it doesn't show anything negative about being gay. It's just that the gay people
They're
that share
gay, so they're silly. Yes.
hello,
Yes.
which
Exactly. Yes.
I'm with Louis
Yes.
and I'm with Louis C.K. here. There are gay people who are like that. So let's just be clear about it.
That's true. That's true. His I'm not making fun of them because they're gay. I'm making fun of them because they're silly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that being said, I'm with you. It is one of those things
Yeah.
just like, well, clearly, you know,
Um,
like the little face and like do the whole like gay face. I'm calling
The
it gay
last
face.
thing I want to mention, because this is the only thing that really, and even though it's not completely successful, enough of it is successful that I loved it. The part of the movie that is truly original is the way they stage the climax. It is in a zoo,
Yes.
and it involves wild animals.
Yeah. And to the degree that I feel like I'm not sure. Okay, first of all, there is nothing in the film that gets you to that place.
No, zero, zero.
It has nothing to do with the rest of the film.
No,
I mean,
it's like
they make it have to do with the rest of the film, but no.
Right. It's like if at the end of Schindler's List, Schindler had the moment like, with this ring I could have saved one more Jew, and he gets in the car and they drive him to a zoo. Like that is.
Or really, if the Nazis were chasing him because they found out what he had done, and he was like, "I know where we'll go.
I know where we'll go.
The zoo.
We'll go to the zoo.
We're going to the zoo." Now, to be fair, Gibson had worked at that zoo before. Whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
I think the old man that he knows that worked at the zoo and gave him the job might be the inspiration for the old man in Up. Just throwing that out there. Is it? By the way, because can I get serious for half a second?
Please do.
Alzheimer's is the saddest thing that ever happened, right?
Yeah.
Like it's sadder than cancer.
Yeah.
Like there's the character who has Alzheimer's in this, and you're looking at him, and he's like, "How are you? I go to the zoo. I work at the zoo now." It's really sad.
It is very sad, and it's weird that it sort of works because it's totally unearned. Like it comes out of nowhere.
Well, I don't think it's. Let me stop you. Here's why it works. Let me work with you here. I think
Please.
the reason it works is because the humanity that we do see of Mel Gibson's character. First of all, he is someone who cares about other people.
Yes.
And from the very beginning of this movie, the very first time you really see him desperate or freaked out, the only lifeline he has is this guy.
Yeah.
And he sets it up very clearly as, "You're all I have," and he hinges his entire safety on this guy remembering him and being able to help him. And so
Yeah.
when he gets to him and realizes the guy doesn't know him, it's sad. It's the movie's not big enough to make it a real moment or
Right.
like a big theme.
Right.
But it's a genuinely, I think it does earn the moment.
That's fair. That's fair. It earns the sadness as you described because it does set up the character. It earns the sadness in terms of this is someone who could help him that cannot. But in terms of like this is a movie of the week about Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
not so much. But I absolutely agree with you. It is affecting. You're right. You can't make a 99% trifle movie and have the other 1% be really affecting.
Sure,
But
but it works.
it works. But it works.
And I do
That's
think
true.
Mel Gibson's character has humanity.
I agree.
Do we want to talk about performances now, or do you want me to?
I'm good.
I
I
think.
can.
Oh no, no. I mean, I think we should talk about Mel Gibson. I think we should talk about Goldie
No, no, no.
Hawn.
I mean, with what I wanted to say,
Oh,
like,
okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
done. Yeah.
You want to start with MG or you want to start with Goldie Hawn?
Uh, I want to start with Goldie Hawn. I want to
Mm,
start with Goldie Hawn.
mm.
She is. I
Because all we've
love.
done is talk about her legs, and I think she deserves more than that.
I absolutely think she deserves more than that. She is. I'll go so far as to say she's great in this movie. She is
Yes,
as charming as someone who needs to hold up the other end of a relationship with Mel Gibson needs to be.
yes.
She is, and more than that,
And in Mel
like
Gibson theory, she's never looked better. Sorry, we got to go back to the
fair.
performance.
No, no,
Back to
that's
the
fair.
performance.
That's fair.
Back to the performance.
Uh, she. I mean, if you've seen Overboard, if you've seen Private Benjamin, you know that she is hilarious. But
Yes.
she is
Wildcats.
hilarious in this movie.
Wildcats.
What? Yes.
Football.
She. If you've seen, she got her start. I think it was, if not her start, close to her start
Laughing.
on Laugh-In. Right. Suck it to me. Um.
I've never seen an episode of Laugh-In. My mom loves Laugh-In. Hi, mom, but I've never seen Laugh-In.
Sure. Um. I. I've only seen them on like the retrospective, so like clips and
Sure.
stuff. But she has impeccable timing. You know how it sometimes feels that like people aren't in the same movie, like these different kinds of comedy. She knows
Yes.
exactly the right pitch to hit. Like
Yes.
she's at the right
I, I
level.
want to go so far as to say that, I mean, I really want to go as far as to say Goldie Hawn is one of the great underrated comic actors of our time. I want to go
I
so far as to say that. Because
I
think
could not agree with you more.
she
Absolutely.
manages, there's something about her, especially when you do consider that, when you think, I mean, she became famous on that show, but she was wearing bikinis a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That she's ostensibly became famous for being gorgeous, and
Yep.
what she ends up being able to do is she has weight when she needs to, and gravity or gravitas. Which would you like me to say? I don't really care. There's a gravity to her performance when you want there to be. There's a lightweightness and a ditziness that she's able to like, that exists even with her within her intelligence.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is great, and I think what you just pointed out, she can bounce off of. I mean, works perfectly well with Steve Martin in House Sitter. She works perfectly well with Kurt Russell in Overboard. She works
Yep.
great. She works great with Mel Gibson here. Her work with Meryl Streep and Bruce Willis in Death Becomes Her. Her timing. It really is all about the timing, and her timing is phenomenal. And she does this thing with her voice that makes you feel like she knows how to make things serious and be comical while being serious.
Yes.
She's a very gifted comedian.
I agree. I agree.
I
don't
really
think.
like, and I think I didn't realize that because I grew up with her,
Yeah.
and then she hasn't been around, and I don't like go around watching Goldie Hawn movies.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like that's the thing that makes me saddest when because you know she hasn't. I would guess without looking at her filmography and the dates. I would guess that not only has she not done a movie since 2002, it's been a while since she's done like a great movie, and so I just sort of forgot about her.
Yeah,
But when I think about her, I miss her, and that's why. Like,
yeah.
like
You
there's
know what I just
plenty.
realized?
What's
Sorry,
up?
go ahead. Go ahead. Keep talking.
There's plenty of eye candy out there, and there's plenty of eye candy in comedies, but
Yeah.
but she is someone who can carry the comedy.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Well, she's not even sexy in most of Overboard.
That's true.
She's like
That's
frumpy
true.
housewife mom.
Yes.
But they start the
Yes.
movie by being like, here she is in a bathing suit being ridiculously gorgeous. And then the rest of the movie, she's like put upon, like poor lady with no
Totally.
makeup.
Totally.
Pretty amazing.
Yes.
And she, by the way, I just realized I've traveled with Goldie Hawn. And it was during this era. In 1991? 88, 89, 90. In 1990, this year, I was in, is that right? My goodness. In 1991, I went to England with my family on a trip. And on the way back, we were on one of those double-decker airplanes, British Airways, because it went from London to LA.
Yeah.
And we got off the plane, and guess who got off the plane with us and was in customs with us and she and Kurt Russell. And I was 11 years old, and I mean, I saw Orville Redenbacher once at the Hotel del Coronado and almost crapped my pants. So anybody who was remotely famous blew my mind, right?
Sure.
So when I saw Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, I was just like, and she had like sunglasses on and wasn't looking at anyone, and I was like, you should be looking at me. I'm amazing. But like, it was just one of those. So Goldie, but she's great. A message to Goldie Hawn, wherever you are, and good for you for doing whatever you want to do with your life right now. You're a really good actor. You should be
Right.
doing things if you want, I guess. I'd love to see her come back. I'd love to see her come back. I hope she hasn't done a bunch of plastic surgery. I'd love to see her just come back as a legit 65-year-old woman who is pretty but looks 65 and could probably just rock the crap out of some good comedies. We
Seriously.
need her.
Yes.
It's a huge dearth. We keep
Agreed.
having to have Meryl Streep do comedies because we don't have anyone else. We just Meryl Streep do a comedy. You're an older woman.
Right.
Go back
Right.
to. We need Meryl Streep going back to doing accents. We need Goldie Hawn to do the
That's right.
comedies.
How about like some like female-driven comedy with her and Meryl Streep because she can't do anything. Diane Keaton
Oh, well,
like
that's what they did. They did the first Wives Club together. It was Diane Keaton, Meryl Streep, or Diane Keaton, Goldie Hawn, and Bette Midler.
that's right. That's
That was the
right.
gayest I ever saw my dad. He came home from that movie dancing. He was dancing. I remember where I was. He was dancing. I was like, "Why are you dancing?" He was like, "I just saw the best movie." My dad loved. My dad was in the USO during Vietnam, and he was in the same troupe as Diane Keaton before she was famous, and they were friends.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so they didn't stay friends. I mean, he didn't stay
Sure.
with her, but he like loved. But he had this affinity for her. Like I have an
Sure.
affinity for the people I know that have gone on to do things, and much better things than you or I. So he would whenever he'd see a Diane Keaton movie, he would just be so excited. But he just came home literally going like this, and I was like, "You've never been gayer." It's really just. But anyways, so she's been in. But you're right. I don't think she's been in a great movie in a while.
Yeah. So let's move on.
MG.
Let's move on to Mel. Let's move on to
MG.
Mel. MG.
I mean, he's having fun. It's him. I think it's him, like really at the height of his. I'm gonna have fun with this. He does fine with the. It's never heavy, so he doesn't really have to get heavy. But
Right.
you believe him. He's sincere. There was a couple moments in here where I really felt like this was a guy. This is his wheelhouse.
Agreed.
I think his
Agreed.
wheelhouse in the late '90s and all the way to now has been really, really dark material.
Yeah.
We're going to get to Edge of Darkness at some point. I got to tell you, that movie is not on the edge of darkness. It's way over into the middle of the path of darkness. But I think his wheelhouse was really straining, like that fine line action. He's a great action comedy star.
Agreed. It's a credit to him that he doesn't, but this is a movie that he could do in his sleep.
Yep.
It's like right in his wheelhouse.
Yep.
And
I'd like to see him do another action comedy.
Agreed. I agree.
But I don't think anyone will laugh at him anymore. I think his career is really, really trashed. I really
Hit
do.
the Gringo is kind of close.
I haven't seen it yet, and he's in the new Machete movie. We'll see what Robert Rodriguez chooses to do with him.
Fine.
Did you not like Machete?
I did not.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I mean, it was
Sure.
what it was, and I realized I don't actually care about grindhouse flicks.
fair. No, that's
Like
fair.
exploitation flicks don't actually excite me,
Fair.
which is why I think it's amazing that I love Tarantino so much. But that's a whole other story.
Sure. He does a better job with the accent than he has in the past couple movies.
Well, and he just bounces around accents too, which is fun.
That's true.
More
Yes.
proof that he's just having fun.
Yes. Agreed.
You know?
I mean, I kind of got nothing else about MG. Like he's
it's great.
just
Wheelhouse. He's playing a piece of meat.
yeah.
And he does a fine job. He gets shot up a lot. He's really good at everything he does, but he's never actually perfect in the fighting scenes, which I enjoy. He doesn't like all of a sudden become a kung fu master or do anything.
Exactly.
No, he's not Martin Riggs underneath all this. He's
He
still
spends
just
a lot of his time getting his hat handed to him.
which is fine.
Yes.
The last thing I want to John Badham directed this movie. John Badham is basically an action comedy guy.
Yes.
His first real film was Saturday Night Fever, but I mean, he made Short Circuit, Stakeout, Another Stakeout, The Hard Way. I mean, that's kind of his deal.
I think my favorite movie
Or
of
was
his is the first Stakeout movie. I love that movie. I
It's a good
really
movie.
enjoy that movie.
He understands
Um,
how to mix suspense and action with comedy,
yes, yes.
or at least he used to. I don't know if he still does.
My favorite non-Saturday Night Fever movie of his, because that, I mean, that's a special movie, right? Like
I've never
that's
seen that Saturday Night Fever.
say again.
There you have it. I've never seen Saturday Night Fever. There you have it.
I only saw it for the first time a couple years ago.
I mean, I'll see it eventually. It'll
Sure.
happen.
Yeah.
There's one last thing I want to say about this movie.
Please.
It is the ultimate baby boomer conceit and a ridiculous film. We all know my stated antipathy towards the baby boomer generation. Not personally, I know and like many baby boomers. Two of them created me. Thanks, mom and dad. But
Indeed.
but um, but as a culture, they're a disaster. And this movie is a perfect example of the great delusion, the great conceit of the baby boomer generation. They
Mm.
were young idealists. Okay, they were trying to run drugs, but really just for fun.
It's
Okay,
true.
they
That's
were
true.
against the war. They were against all the right stuff. But she grows up and becomes a millionaire, of course, who carries $100 bills. The whole time, he gives her crap about it, right? Because
Yep.
he hasn't sold out. Meanwhile, she's trying to make up for, like, explain away the way that she is, even though she shows herself as, like, in the beginning, like, I don't want her first
Right.
line, how corporate big guys shouldn't always get what they want,
I
except that
love
she
where you're going with this. I
a
love it.
millionaire. Except you know where I'm going.
I
And then
do.
and then the whole movie, like, and he needs to prove his innocence, and it's really about innocence regained and recaptured of
Yep.
this group and true love. And these two young idealists who regain their idealistic and all involving love for each other so that they can go back to being anti-establishment, like fight the power types. How does the movie end?
With them sailing into the sunset on a yacht.
Yes. That it is so beautiful, like it's so crystallized. This is what happens to Benjamin Braddock when he grows up. This is what
Yeah.
happens to The Graduate. Like, we'd like to think that The Graduate sequel is a lot cooler than this, but this is the actual way that these people think. I
Nice.
loved it. I wasn't even mad. It was like, oh, how sweet.
I'm not even mad. I'm amazed. Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
The whole generation, they ate a wheel of cheese. I mean, it's just amazing. That's it. I just
That's
want to say
it.
that about that movie. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a fine time watching this movie.
Yeah.
It was a good little trifle with some good car chase scenes and a surprising Joan Severance with a shotgun. That whole
Indeed.
sequence was totally
Indeed.
unexpected. It was each little segment was short enough that you never really got bored.
Agreed.
I know we've
I'm
gone
done.
way too long today, but I'm so happy.
I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. It's good. Trifle. But yes, I'm happy to.
I
Coming
wouldn't
up.
recommend anyone see it.
coming up. Coming up on the next 3 weeks on Project Melway, Air America,
Yes.
Hamlet,
Yep.
Hamlet,
I believe it's a French film called Omelette.
Omelette, yes. And then Lethal Weapon 3, The Magic is Back.
Back. Is that really the next one after those two?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Air America, Hamlet, Lethal Weapon 3. Set your cues, or, don't, because
don't.
you can just listen to us talk about them.
I'm gonna go open my high register. I think more people should be watching this. I think
I
more
agree.
people should be joining Project Melway. I think right now is the perfect time to jump in.
Now is the perfect time. Now is the perfect time.
I have some news for you before you go.
Please.
The AFI, not the American Film Institute, but the Australian Film Institute,
Okay.
gave Mel Gibson an AFI for Best Actor
Okay.
for Tim.
It's sort of an unstated policy of mine that I want to end podcasts when we find something we can't top. So this has been another Second Breakfast installment of Project Melway. I'm Andy Roth. That's Phil Duvall. We'll see you again real soon.
Take care, people.
Bye-bye.